Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar. It's one we're really excited about. It's our final one for 2021, and it's all about how you can accelerate brand growth through celebrating your customers' uniqueness. So to give you a quick intro to myself, I'm Sophia. I'm the Senior Brand Marketing Manager here at Mention Me. Been here a couple of years, so I like to think I know a thing or two about this, but I'll let you be the judge of that at the end of this session. So during the session, we're going to look at why it's so important to engage with your customers as individuals and how you can engage them now and in the post-pandemic Gen Z-driven cookieless future, how you can build a powerful community of brand advocates, how you can improve your focus and engage every shopper. At risk of stating the obvious, customers today hold pretty much all the power. They know what they want and they'll go elsewhere if you can't give it to them. And if you get that right, as I'm sure some of you are finding, you'll build a really strong community of brand advocates who love you, who rave about you, who can't wait to tell others about your brand. But if you're falling a little bit short, customers won't hold back in letting you know that you're failing to meet their expectations, and they often will go and do that in public ways, such as telling others or online. So knowing your customers and understanding what they want is really critical to success, and that applies to whatever industry you're in. So that's why we've created this, our Referral Engineering Uniqueness Manual, to help brands like yours engage with your customers as individuals and create really memorable experiences that will keep them coming back. So, as we all know too well, the pandemic has rapidly accelerated the rate at which the marketing landscape has evolved over the past 18 months. And that's bringing about quite big changes in how brands and consumers engage with one another. And alongside that, it's also brought on a number of challenges. For starters, consumers don't trust ads the way they used to. Many people feel bombarded and they're using VPNs, ad blockers, and other tactics to avoid being marketed to. Meanwhile, digital channels like Facebook and Google are delivering diminishing returns. And all too often, the customers they do acquire disappear after their first purchase. They end up costing more than they actually bring in. If you then add in Apple's tracking changes earlier this year and the phasing out of third-party cookies, and it's getting harder and harder to reach target consumers. Meanwhile, brands like Lush and Balenciaga are wiping their social media accounts over concerns for their customers' mental health. And whether you think that's a marketing ploy or it's the start of a major trend, that presents yet another reason to seek out alternative solutions for reaching and nurturing target consumers. Then we have Gen Z, the meme lords, iGen, Generation Fix-It, whatever you want to call them, they're fast becoming one of the world's most powerful consumer segments, with an estimated annual spending power of $143 billion. That's a lot of money. And that's changing how brands market. In the past, brands have really thrived on creating this sense of exclusivity, but that is no longer the case. Gen Z value individual expression and uniqueness. And that's forcing brands to explore new channels, create unique experiences, and really engage in brand storytelling. So in recognition of this and to prepare for this Gen Z-led future, brands should prioritize a number of things now. The first is focusing on social. That's where Gen Z goes for inspiration. It's standard practice among this generation to have a Finsta, which is a fake Instagram where Gen Z share their really candid, real posts with close friends, and then they will have a public, more curated profile. And that duality really reflects the complexities of marketing to Gen Z. On the one hand, they daily use these filters that add special effects, they smooth their skin, plump their lips. But on the other hand, they really want authenticity and realness, and they love people like Billie Eilish who feel really real and they're honest. Basically, they have a very sharp radar for knowing what's real and what's not. Another thing that really matters is operating ethically and sustainably. This is something we've been talking about for a long time, but the pressure is really cranking up to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And if you're not, Gen Zs will go elsewhere. According to Student Beans, 63% of Gen Z have fallen out of touch with traditional Black Friday marketing because they prefer brands with a greener image. And if you are walking that green walk, make it known. Don't hold back. Tell the world. So I saw in the Huffington Post this morning, for example, that Patagonia has donated all 10 million of their Black Friday sales profits to saving the planet. That's the kind of action Gen Z want to see. The third priority should be nailing the omnichannel experience. So last week, fitness brand Gymshark announced its plans to open its first physical retail space to create experiential spaces that will engage its community of brand fans. And that really reflects the importance of serving these incredible experiences both on and offline across every touch point with your brand. So at Mention Me, we talk about the points of delight, and these are the moments customers are most likely to refer because they're feeling really engaged and excited about your brand. So that could be on your post-purchase page because they've just ordered and they're really excited about what's to come. It could be when they're unboxing your products at home or they've just attended a community event. Know these moments and then really tap into them to further engage your customers. Then, of course, there's another challenge, which is the pandemic. I think that's one that we're all too familiar with, but it's one that's permanently changed consumer behaviour. A lot more people shop online, and people's expectations of that online experience are at an all-time high. I know myself that if I'm shopping online and the website's a bit glitchy or I'm finding it hard to do what I want to do, I will just go elsewhere. My patience is pretty low with it. And so to make it through 2022 and beyond, you must now prioritise serving these really seamless online customer experiences that are good enough for customers to not only do what they want to do, find the goods they want and buy them, but also feel excited enough to tell others about them. And a big part of that will be really plugging in your technology stack and making sure all your channels and tools are talking to one another and driving efficiency. So that feels like quite a few challenges. But with challenge comes opportunity, and we at Mention Me think it's the perfect time for a bit of a glow up for your brand. And that starts with your customers. If you can harness their enthusiasm for your business, you can create a team of unpaid brand marketers that will just keep on growing. These are people that love your brand. They jump at the chance to tell others about you, and they feel really loyal to you. But getting that right requires the right approach, and that's something I'll talk more about in this session. So people love telling their friends about great brands, and their friends often listen to and act on these recommendations. Just the other day, for example, I went to a Christmas get-together and I asked at least 3 people where the outfits were from, and I can still remember where they told me. And when I come to the point where I think, okay, I fancy a new outfit, I'll remember what they said and I'll probably go to those brands' websites first. That's because referral is a really highly trusted form of advertising. And if you tap into that, you can acquire new high-quality customers while nurturing your existing ones, and that will create a really powerful cycle of long-term growth. But here's the thing. To get referral right, you need to treat it as a science. It requires an approach rooted in data and behavioral psychology, and that's an approach here at Mention Me that we call referral engineering. That's because in referral marketing, there's this constant psychological dynamic at play, and understanding it is really important to getting it right. People are social animals. We crave connection and recognition. And when we recommend something to somebody and they act on that recommendation, that builds our connection with them, but also builds our connection with the brand. It makes me feel really good. If I say to my friend, oh, you should go to this brand, and then a few days later they come back to me and say, oh, I did, you're so right, I loved it. That makes me feel really proud and excited, and it makes me feel more loyal towards that brand. I want to go back because they've helped me build that emotional bond with my friend. And actually, apologies if you've already attended one of our webinars because we always talk about this book. But if you haven't read it, I'd really recommend reading the book Contagious by Jonah Berger. I know that title feels a little bit close to home at the moment, but it's a great read that really explains the psychological drivers of referral and how you can make your brand a contagious one that people can't stop talking about. So if we go back to the generation that really holds the key to the future of e-commerce, Gen Z, and look at what's at their core, and that is this sense of manifesting their individual identity. No one understands and values individual expression as much as Gen Z. They're really comfortable with having multiple ways of being. And in this search for authenticity, they have a lot more freedom. They're very open towards understanding different kinds of people. And that's having a major influence on all the generations around them and how we shop. Gen Z are also really savvy, and there's a sort of interesting mismatch between there's a growing number of brands using influencers. There's probably a very good chance that you are using influencers to promote your products. But actually, Gen Z trust in these social media stars is on the decline. And that is because quite often they lack this authenticity that Gen Z are so keen on finding. And that's a trend that's extending beyond Gen Z too. 2/3 of 18 to 44-year-olds don't trust what influencers promote. If you combine that with rising fees, daily changing social media trends, and increasingly hard to measure metrics, and influencer marketing doesn't feel like such a foolproof strategy. Gen Zs want genuine content. They want it to feel real. They want it to feel authentic. And who do they feel most trusting of? Their friends and the people around them. And that is where referral engineering comes in. So at Mention Me, we take a unique approach to segmentation and A/B testing by cohort. And that means you can strategically experiment throughout your referral journey, from copy and design to touch points and incentives, to learn what resonates with your target audiences. So as you learn, you can drill down deeper, you can make these segments more refined, and you can test more and more. And with all these learnings, you can optimize both your referral marketing program and your wider marketing activity. And actually, brands that work with Mention Me work very closely with our team of referral experts, and these are professionals who have worked with more than 450 brands, so they've got a really clear idea of what works and what probably won't work, and can help you build a program that's really tailored to what matters to your business. So if, for example, acquiring Gen Zs is a massive priority for your business, we'll build a referral program around that. If actually you want to grow your newsletter database, that's something else we can help with. There's all kinds of things, and it's something that we'd create a really bespoke program towards your brand for. And as we've touched on, feeling personal and authentic is really crucial to engaging that Gen Z audience. So we have a unique sharing method, which is called name share. And the way name share works is pretty simple at the surface level. It means that if I'm in conversation with my friend and my friend says to me, I love your lipstick. What is that? And I tell her where it's from. And I can say to her, go on their website, add it to your basket, enter my name at checkout, put Sophia in there, you'll get an exclusive reward right away. And that makes it a really seamless experience. I don't have to get out my phone and find an email that I got sent weeks ago to forward on. They don't have to remember a long code. They literally just have to put my name in. And name share drives 34% of referrals across our client base. So it's something that is really popular among consumers. And actually, 93% of brand recommendations take place offline. So it's really important that you have the tools to tap into those everyday conversations about your brand. So there's a good chance that if you're like a lot of other brands, you know word of mouth is a potentially very powerful source of organic growth. You've got a feeling maybe that customers are coming because your current customers are talking about you to them, but you just don't have the tools to track and optimize it. So referral engineering solves that. It injects science, data-driven thinking, and turns referral into a high-performing channel that will amplify all your other marketing channels. And that's because it taps into your target consumers' everyday conversations, whether that's at work, at the pub, at a Christmas party, and it promotes your brand in a really relevant way. It means you can really hone in on your customers, understand exactly what they want, and nurture them to become brand advocates who will return often and introduce their friends and family. And actually, to steal a quote from the travel gear retailer DB, who we recently did a case study on, referral engineering is essentially word of mouth on Red Bull. So as well as growing your customer base through acquiring high quality new customers, referral acquires customers who are highly likely to return and bring in more value to your business. On average, referred customers spend 11% more on their first order, they represent 10 times ROI, and they're 5 times more likely to introduce their own friends and family. So you get this really powerful cycle of growth going on. And at the same time, you can keep experimenting throughout your referral journey to discover what resonates with your target audiences and collect valuable first-party data. So we call this referral data referral intelligence, and it really equips you to enhance performance throughout the customer lifecycle, and that's both in your referral program and more widely. So to give an example, we recently helped Spoke Menswear target referrer lookalike audiences on paid social using their referral intelligence, and they subsequently increased their return on ad spend by 30%, which is pretty major. So hopefully that's made you feel a little bit hopefully that's made you feel a little bit inspired about how this could work for you and how you could grow your Gen Z customer base through referral. Put simply, if you offer a great product and service, there's a good chance your customers are talking about you to their friends right now. And with Christmas around the corner, this is even more likely. People are seeing their friends and family, they're giving gifts, they're talking about what they're buying right now. So there's a great chance for you to drive sustainable growth. Rather than focus on buying customers through advertising or other paid means in 2022, I'd really recommend focus on earning new customers through referral and through a great reputation. As well as driving cost-effective long-term growth, this will instill a truly customer-centric approach that requires every one of your teams to serve experiences that encourage customers to come back for more and bring their friends with them. So that is it. That's the Whistle Stop tour. Hopefully it's got you feeling really inspired and excited about a new channel you could open up in 2022 and how that could amplify your entire marketing performance. I hope you've learned something new. I hope you're feeling excited, and thank you so much for listening.